You might be surrounded by people yet feel like no one truly sees you. You smile in photos but ache inside when the camera's gone. I know what that feels like. The silence can be louder than the noise. And the nights, they can feel longer than the days ever were. You sit there asking yourself, is this what life is going to be like forever? You look at your phone, scrolling through fake laughter and perfect lives, and wonder, why not me? Why does no one reach out? But let me tell you something that changed my life. Loneliness is not your identity. It's a season. It's a shadow that walks with you, but it does not define you. You may feel empty right now, but you're not useless. You're not forgotten. You are not invisible. What if your loneliness wasn't punishment, but preparation? What if the silence is where your strength is being formed? What if your heart is learning to love deeper because you've been without it? See, pain sharpens purpose. Tears water the roots of growth, and every lonely moment can become a brick in the foundation of your comeback. You are not alone. Even when it feels like no one understands, there is someone, somewhere, being touched by the pain you're surviving. So don't give up. Your story matters, and just maybe this moment of loneliness is the beginning of your greatest transformation. You are stronger than you feel. You are braver than you believe. You are worthy of love, even when you don't hear it. Keep walking. The light is closer than it seems. Loneliness is common, but it doesn't mean you're broken. You could be surrounded by people, scrolling through messages, liking photos, laughing in crowds, and still feel completely alone. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means you're human. There are seasons in life where connection feels distant, where the warmth of friendship feels like a memory, and where the silence in your room echoes louder than your thoughts. But listen carefully. Just because you feel lonely doesn't mean you are unworthy of love. It doesn't mean your voice doesn't matter. It doesn't mean your story is over. Sometimes loneliness is simply the soul's way of asking you to pause, to reflect, to heal. You see, we often tie our value to attention, how many messages we get, how many people check in, how often someone says, I'm here. But true worth isn't measured by who shows up. It's measured by the strength you discover when no one else is around. Being alone gives you space to reconnect with who you are beneath the noise. It invites you to listen to your own voice, the one that gets drowned out by the world's constant demands. You are not broken because you're hurting. You are not defective because you feel the ache of absence. You are not a burden just because your heart longs for connection. You're growing, you're learning, and sometimes growth feels like silence, like solitude, like sitting in a room with just your thoughts. But here's the truth. That quiet space within you holds the seed of your greatest strength, and even in the stillness you are enough, even when no one calls, even when the room feels empty, even when the days blur into nights. You still matter, because loneliness is part of the journey, but it's not the end of the road. And you, even in your quietest moment, are still whole. Feeling alone is not the same as being alone forever. There's a difference between a moment and a lifetime. You may feel alone right now. You may wake up to silence, walk through your day unnoticed, and fall asleep wondering if anyone would care if you disappeared. But this feeling, as heavy as it is, doesn't define what's coming next. Feelings are real, but they are not permanent. They shift, they move, they evolve. Just like seasons change, so does this moment you're in. The mind can be a powerful storyteller. When you're in pain, it whispers lies like, this is forever. This is who you are now. This is how it will always be. But that's not the truth. It's just the storm talking. You're in a chapter, not the whole book, and chapters end. New ones begin. Pages turn. Even if you don't see it yet, there are people you haven't met, conversations you haven't had, and love you haven't felt still waiting for you. Life doesn't always move at your pace. Sometimes it holds back so you can grow stronger, more grounded, more ready for what's next. You may feel disconnected now, but connection is still possible. Healing is still possible. Joy is still possible. You're not sentenced to a lifetime of silence just because today is quiet. You're not forgotten just because today feels empty. This feeling of being alone, it's a visitor, not a resident. It came, and one day it will leave. You'll breathe lighter. You'll laugh deeper. You'll see that what felt like the end was actually the beginning of something more beautiful than you could have imagined in the dark. Feeling alone isn't a life sentence. It's a pause, a space between storms, but not forever. Your identity is not defined by your emotions or your circumstances. You are not just what you feel, and you are not what has happened to you. Feelings come and go. One moment you're hopeful, the next you're in tears. One day you're filled with energy, the next you can't get out of bed. But your identity runs deeper than your emotional state. You may feel broken, but you are not broken. You may feel lost, but you are not a lost cause. You may feel unworthy, but your worth never changes. Circumstances can shake your world, a job lost, a friendship gone, a dream delayed. But those things do not rewrite the truth of who you are. You are not your failure. You are not your trauma. You are not your past. What happened to you was real, it hurt, and it shaped you, but it did not erase your value. You're more than the storm you survived, more than the pain you carry, more than the mistakes you regret. Your identity is in your resilience, your courage, your compassion, your decision to get up again even when the world told you to stay down. You are not the darkness you've walked through. You are the light that refused to be put out. It's easy to believe the lie that your lowest moments define you, but they don't. You are not the voice that says, "I'm not enough." You are the soul that keeps searching, keeps growing, keeps believing that better is possible. And better asterisk is asterisk possible. So next time life tells you who you are, pause. Listen to your own voice, the quiet one that says, "I am still here. I am still becoming. I am still worthy." Because who you are is not determined by what you feel today or by what you've gone through. Who you are is far greater than any emotion or any circumstance, and nothing you face can take that truth away. Loneliness can be a season of preparation and growth. It may not feel like it now. It may feel like everything is standing still, like the world is moving on without you, while you sit in silence, wondering why no one notices you anymore. But sometimes when everything goes quiet, that's when the real work begins. In loneliness, you start to hear your own voice again. You begin to notice what you truly need, what you've been ignoring, what your heart has been trying to tell you all along. It's in the silence that your strength is tested. It's in the stillness that your roots grow deeper, because when nothing is distracting you, you're finally left with yourself, and that's where the transformation begins. You start learning to enjoy your own company. You discover hidden parts of you, your creativity, your resilience, your purpose. You begin to ask better questions. What do I really want? What kind of life do I deserve? Who am I becoming when no one is watching? That's not weakness. That's growth. Seasons of loneliness aren't punishments. They're invitations. Invitations to rebuild, to realign, to release what no longer fits the life you're creating. Sometimes you have to be alone to figure out who you are without the noise. Sometimes you have to walk through the emptiness to find what truly fills you. And when the season passes, because it will, you'll step out of it stronger, wiser, and more connected to yourself than ever before. You'll stop chasing things that never gave you peace. You'll stop settling for halfway love, and you'll start walking in the direction of what's real. Loneliness doesn't mean life is over. It could mean life is just beginning. This quiet space you're in may be preparing you for something greater, something more aligned, more meaningful, more true to who you really are. So trust the process. Even in loneliness, you are being shaped for the life that's waiting on the other side. Purpose often emerges from pain and silence, not in the loud moments, not in the applause, not when everything is going your way. It's in the ache, in the quiet tears you cry when no one is looking, in the nights that feel too long and the days that feel too heavy. Pain has a way of breaking down what's false and revealing what's true. It strips away the distractions, the masks, the noise, and in the silence that follows, you begin to hear something deeper, a whisper, a calling, a reason. Purpose isn't always found in success. Sometimes it's found in survival, in the fact that you're still standing after everything tried to knock you down. You see, the wounds you carry can become the wisdom someone else needs. The silence you've endured can become the space where clarity is born, and the pain that nearly broke you can lead you straight to your mission. When life gets quiet, it's not always abandonment. Sometimes it's alignment. A chance to reset, to rebuild, to reconnect with why you're really here. The very thing you thought disqualified you might be the thing that prepares you. Every scar tells a story, not of weakness but of healing, of strength, of purpose rising from ashes. When the world goes silent, listen carefully. That's when purpose begins to speak. That's when the questions get real, and that's when the answers start to come. Why did I go through that? What can I do with what I've learned? How can I turn this pain into something meaningful? Those are not easy questions, but they lead to powerful answers. Purpose doesn't always arrive wrapped in comfort. Sometimes it shows up in the aftermath, when you're left to pick up the pieces and choose what to build next. So if you're hurting, if you're in the silence, don't rush through it. Because deep inside that quiet, something beautiful is forming. Something lasting, something that matters, and when you come through it, you'll know your pain wasn't wasted. It was planting the seeds of your purpose. Your struggle is not wasted, it's building something deeper in you. Even when it feels like you're stuck, even when you're tired of trying, even when no one sees how hard it is to keep going, it's easy to believe that pain has no purpose, that all this hurt, all this waiting, all this effort is for nothing. But it's not. The truth is, the struggle you're facing right now is shaping something within you that nothing else could. Strength, patience, wisdom, compassion, these things don't grow in comfort. They grow in pressure. They grow in the quiet moments when you choose to show up again, even when everything in you wants to quit. There are lessons in the fight. There is growth in the breaking. There is meaning in the mess. You may not see it yet. You may not feel it yet. But one day you'll look back and realize that every step you took in the dark was preparing you for the light. Struggle builds a foundation that success alone never could. It teaches you to trust yourself. It teaches you to stand tall even when your world is shaking. And more than that, it gives you the kind of depth that others will one day lean on. Your story, with all its ups and downs, will one day speak hope into someone else's life. But for now, just know this: you are not going through this for nothing. Every tear, every setback, every night you whispered, "I can't do this anymore," but did it anyway, that's not wasted. That's strength being forged. That's purpose being refined. That's you becoming someone unshakable. So don't curse the struggle. Let it do its work. Let it carve out the depth inside you that will carry you forward, because the truth is, your struggle is not breaking you. It's building you. You matter even when others don't see it, even when the phone doesn't ring, even when your messages go unanswered, even when the people you hoped would care just keep walking past your pain. Your worth isn't based on how many people notice you. It's not measured by likes, by calls, or by applause. It's not determined by how loud your presence feels in someone else's world. You matter because you exist. You matter because your heart beats, because your story is still being written, because there's something inside you that no one else in this world carries. Sometimes the world overlooks the quiet ones, the gentle hearts, the souls who carry so much but speak so little. Sometimes the ones who give the most are the ones forgotten first. But not being seen doesn't mean you're insignificant. Not being heard doesn't mean your voice lacks power. Being left out doesn't mean you don't belong. The truth is, people miss what they don't understand. They don't always know how to see your depth, how to feel your quiet presence, how to value the space you hold. But just because they don't see you doesn't mean you're invisible. Just because they don't say it doesn't mean you don't matter. You matter because there are lives you've impacted without even realizing it. A smile you gave, a moment you stayed, a word you offered at just the right time. You matter because you keep showing up even when you feel unseen. You matter because you carry kindness in a world that often forgets it. You matter because the world is different simply because you're in it. So don't let someone else's blindness make you doubt your light. Don't let silence convince you that your voice has no place. You are not invisible. You are not replaceable. You are not alone in your value. Even if no one else says it, hear it now. You matter. You always have. You always will. You are not the only one many are silently battling too. It might feel like you're the only one struggling, like everyone else has it figured out, like you're falling behind in a world that keeps moving forward. But behind the smiles, behind the filtered photos and polished words, there are people hurting just like you. People who cry when the lights go out. People who carry anxiety in their chest and pain in their silence. People who wonder if they're enough every single day. You're not the only one who feels tired of pretending to be okay. You're not the only one who lies awake at night questioning their worth. You're not the only one who walks through life feeling unseen, even in a crowded room. We live in a world that teaches us to hide our pain, to smile when we want to scream, to keep moving even when our hearts are breaking. So don't be fooled by appearances. Don't compare your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel, because what you're facing right now others are facing too. They may not say it. They may look strong, but deep down they're fighting battles of their own. There is more pain in this world than most will ever admit. But there's also more courage, more quiet strength, more resilience than we often realize. You are not weird. You are not weak. You are not alone. You're human, and being human means facing storms that others may never see. It means learning to breathe through the hard days, even when you don't know how. So next time you feel isolated in your struggle, remember this: you are walking alongside countless others, strangers who are silently holding on just like you, people who need hope just like you, and maybe, just maybe, if we all stopped hiding, we'd see just how connected we truly are. Because pain may be silent, but it's not rare. You are not alone. You never were. Hope is always within reach, even when you can't see it. There are moments when life feels too heavy, when the weight on your chest makes it hard to breathe, hard to think, hard to imagine anything getting better. You look ahead and see nothing but fog. You look behind and see nothing but pain, and in that space in between you wonder if there's any point in trying again. But even in that darkness, even when your vision is clouded, hope hasn't left you. It may not scream, it may not shine brightly, but it's still there, a quiet whisper in the distance, a gentle nudge that tells you to take just one more step. Hope doesn't always show up in big, dramatic ways. Sometimes it's as small as a stranger's smile, a kind word, a sunrise after a long night. Sometimes it's simply the fact that you woke up today, that your heart is still beating, that you haven't given up. And that's not failure. That's proof you're still alive, still fighting, still searching for light. Hope is not about pretending everything's fine. It's about believing that even in the mess, something beautiful can still grow. That even from the ruins, life can rebuild. You don't have to see the whole path. You don't need all the answers. You just need to trust that this moment is not the end of your story. You may feel stuck, but hope says, keep going. You may feel forgotten, but hope says, you still matter. You may feel broken, but hope says, you can heal. It's okay if you can't feel it right now. It's okay if all you can do is breathe. Hope is patient. It waits. It holds space until you're ready to reach back. And when you are, even if it's just with trembling hands, you'll find it's been here all along. Hope is not lost. Hope is not gone. Hope is within reach, even now, even here. Your journey through loneliness may become someone else's survival guide. Right now, it may feel like you're walking through darkness with no end, like no one understands what you're carrying, like your silence is too deep, your pain too invisible, your story too forgotten. But every step you take through this quiet valley is building something powerful inside you, something that can one day light the path for someone else. Because the truth is, what you're going through is not just about you. It's shaping you for something greater. There will be someone, someday, who feels the same ache you feel right now, and they'll be lost. They'll be searching for a voice that understands, a voice that's been there, a voice that knows, and that voice might be yours. The way you're holding on, the way you keep going despite the emptiness, the way you're learning to breathe through the pain, that is strength. That is wisdom. That is something no textbook can teach and no speech can fake. It's real, it's lived, and one day it will matter more than you know. Someone will need to hear how you made it through, how you kept walking when it would have been easier to give up, how you learned to sit with your loneliness without letting it define you. Your scars will speak the language of healing. Your tears will translate into hope. And your story, the one you're still surviving, will become a roadmap for someone else's comeback. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to be fully healed. You just need to be honest, to be human, to be willing to share the truth of what you've lived through, because someone out there is waiting to hear your story. Not the polished version, but the raw, honest, real one. And when you speak it, you'll do more than inspire. You'll help someone survive. You'll remind them that they're not alone. And maybe then, you'll see that your lonely journey was never meaningless. It was a gift waiting to be shared.